Hey there, my friends. So yesterday we talked about the importance of resting. And if you're watching this on another day, then we mentioned about resting and why that is important. Because at this moment in life, we're in two different parts, right? I know for a fact that a lot of people know that they have a calling and that there is a mission and there's something heavily pulling them towards this purpose and this mission that they have. Well, on the second aspect of that, we also have to understand about nurturing and loving ourselves. Because if we don't nurture and love ourselves, then we're not going to be at the maximum of our capacity to then go out and do what we're here to do. So you have to understand that there will be days where you have to take that rest and take that time for yourself and just relax. But in this video today, I want to be talking about your purpose and on a deeper level, what it is that you can provide the world. Because of course we have this feeling of urgency, right? There's something that we need to do. The world is in need of love and light. And the question is, how do we provide that love and light? What is it that you have that you can give the world from your heart and soul? And of course, the infinicy, the infinite level of what this video can get to for each individual person means that I can't go into every single one, but I'll give you an example. And I won't use any names, but I'll give you an example of what I've heard recently. Now, it's always occurred to me that every single person on planet Earth has a very beautiful and very precious, special quality about them, right? Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Everybody has this little spark, this little fire within them that gives them this beautiful sense of pleasure and love. And recently I've heard of a few different amazing sort of ventures that people have done. One of them was indoor plantscaping. And if you're watching this video, I didn't use your name, but it's so beautiful, right? This idea of bringing nature into the home, right? And into workplaces so that you've got that balance of that grey cardboard side of things and the beautiful nature and surroundings that is possible and where we live, right? And I've heard many other different ones, like people do healing. People do healing with sound, with crystals, with meditation. They do healing with all sorts of different things, right? People play instruments. I mean, even there in itself, there is an infinite amount of different instruments out there, right? People are artists, they draw, they're creative. Some people are good at movement and fire, and they're good at being able to do things and achieve things and get things done. Right, we all have a quality and we all have a place. And you might ask yourself, all right, James, well, you've got my attention, but what's the point of this video? What are you trying to tell me? What I'm trying to ask you to do is look at what your soul's pleasure is, right? Look at what your qualities are, what it is that you can provide the world. Because I promise you, and I guarantee you, that there will be something out there that you can do for the world. And I also want to bring up, you see how I can barely look at the camera at the minute? The sun is as strong and as potent as it has ever been. And this is why we did the video yesterday about taking those times and those moments to relax. See, it's extremely difficult for me to even look at a camera, right? The earth is changing. We are getting energy, we are getting downloads, we are getting codes coming to earth that are just out of this world. And there's a beautiful lady who I know who does all about light codes and things like that, so I'm learning from her with what she's doing at the minute. But again, it's coming back to this understanding of what we can provide. And even there in itself, you know, like on a spiritual level and on a quantum level, you know, are you here to study quantum science on a much deeper level than what quantum scientists actually know and understand the depths and purpose of our reality so that you can go and share that with the world? Are you to be a soul purpose coach and then go out there to help people to discover their purpose? You know, there are a million different things out there that you can do and that you can explore that might resonate with you the deepest. And then the next part that we come to is understanding how valuable and important you are in this new world, in this new earth that is coming, right? Because, and just as another wonderful person has messaged me recently, we are the ones that will carve the new world, right? We are the ones that will decide how it can come from a place of love and light, right? And this is where we start to really move into this understanding that if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't know why you're here, what you're doing, or what it's all even for, this is a time to explore that, to discover that. You know, ask yourselves the questions. What makes you the happiest in the world? Forget about money, forget about what your parents told you, what your friends told you, what your school teachers told you. Forget about all those people. What makes you the happiest in the world? If you weren't to get a career, if you weren't to get the car, the job, this, that, get married and have 9 kids, and if you weren't to do any of that, what makes you the happiest in this world? Right? And if you have all of that, again, I ask you the same question. What makes you the happiest in this world? Because moving down that path, in my opinion, and I have this opinion with the greatest depth and love in my heart, that is how we begin to change the world, is by allowing people to do and feel what it is that their soul is calling them to do, in love and light of others, of course. It's just, if anything is at the expense of anybody else, then, well, you ask yourself the question if that's the kind of person you want to be. And this is the thing, you see, we have to ask ourselves, who do I want to be? Because there are no limits, and if you believe there are limits, then that's where I come in and we can work together on that. But there are no limits. There aren't any. It's just, it's the idea of limits is a paradox in itself, because it's a construct, it's created. This reality isn't even a limit. You can move beyond it, even though we're limited in a certain degree, free will and the law of confusion, but we're starting to break those limits and we're starting to push those boundaries so that when we move past those limits and boundaries, we're going to move into something a lot more beautiful and a lot more interesting. So today's video is to ask yourself the question, what is it that I love to do? What is my soul? If you're a gamer, right? You see a lot of people like, oh, gaming's not a career. You can't do that with game. You can't. Who's to say that? I watch gamers when I'm working. I'll be working on the laptop and I'm watching some of my favorite streamers stream on the laptop on the side here. Like, people love to watch it because they feel involved. That's a family in itself. Never let anybody tell you what you can't do, right? They're only ever coming from their own insecurities and fears and their own programming. You decide what it is that you do and what you want to do in your life, right? You decide, nobody else. That's how it works. You see, this is the law of free will. It's your choice. And if you choose to listen to others that tell you that you can't do something, again, it's your choice. It's your choice. You have to understand that, right? Some people say, oh, well, it's easier said than done. Grass growing is easier said than done, but it still finds a way. A tree growing to the height and how tall it is still easier said than done. Still does it. It's a choice. The tree chooses to grow up to the sky. The grass chooses to provide us with a beautiful place to walk on and to nourish us. It's a choice. Choose, my friends. So, I love all of you. Doesn't matter where you're at. And if that sounded quite masculine, then, understand that even if you feel like you have limits, that's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm here to guide you through that in the most loving and gentle ways. So, as I can barely see you guys, I love all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Just focus on what it is that you want to do in the world, and then from there, we'll do beautiful things. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.